Hi everyone, Alex Tardy here, National Weather Service. So some good news, Santa Ana winds ending. But high wildfire danger continues until we lose all these winds and until we recover from these incredibly low humidity values. So the red flag warning is still in effect through Friday morning. Precipitation from a cold storm looking likely this weekend. These are the hazards that were in effect as of Thursday. High wind warnings for the most wind-prone areas for wind damage and wind impacts, and then red flag warnings for all areas except for the deserts and the immediate coast. The air was so dry, I'm showing you dew point temperatures. We have some areas all the way to the coast that are down around 0 or even negative. That's incredible. That's rarely seen. That equates to humidity values as low as 2, 3, 4%, as shown here. So literally the desert came to the coast. The wind gusts for today on Thursday, as this recording is made, are shown here. You can see some wind made it all the way down from east to west into central San Diego County. And then the really wind pocket areas like Interstate 8 had gusts 60, 70 miles per hour. Now, when you go further north, there's another pocket of wind near Rainbow Pass and I-15, Highway 91, Santa Ana Mountains, and then, of course, I-10, 210. And you can see a lot of the Inland Empire today, January 23rd, had wind gusts of 30, 40 miles per hour. All right, here are the main highlights. Red flag warning continues. Even though wind is going to decrease, it's going to continue. The vegetation is critically dry. Humidity levels will remain low through Friday night. A winter storm watch, what does that mean? Well, there's less uncertainty, so more confidence that we'll see significant and heavy snow in our mountains and low snow levels. So this is in effect for this weekend. Saturday night through Sunday night looks like the bulk of the storm. Also, some locally heavy rain. Places seeing up to a quarter inch in just 1 hour, and most areas seeing a quarter to half inch of rain, with some heavier amounts in the foothills and mountain areas up to 1.5 inches of water. Of course, almost all snow above 5,000 feet. The weather pattern so far this year has been avoiding us, going to the north, and even the past month going north of all of California. This is what I mean by north of all of California. The jet stream is going up and over the Pacific Northwest for the entire month. So it's not just Southern California. And the result has been cold air coming down into the plains, and that cold air brings high pressure, and that brings our Santa Ana winds. How dry have we been? Almost all areas so far up to the potential rain this weekend are less than 5% of where they should be. The ranking, all areas are 1 to 2 driest. So we've never seen at the number ones this dry of conditions, this lack of rainfall into January. We were already dry when we started October through December, and already the region was in a deficit of about 4 inches of water. That includes the mountains and the coast. So drought has expanded. So we're looking at severe drought conditions in Southern California as shown here. In fact, D3 is extreme drought in the areas now in red. If you look at the change in drought over the past few weeks, we can see several categories of degradation as shown here. The vegetation is feeling all of this. And so now the vegetation thinks it's October and it's sitting at record low levels. Okay, what are we going to see change? So the weather pattern doesn't change a whole lot. It buckles a little bit, which allows a storm coming out of Canada to break off and move into Southern California. Instead of just going by to our east like they have been doing all of January, it actually moves to the west and then into Southern California. And it also stalls on Sunday, Monday, right over Southern California. So now you have the instability, the cold air, not an atmospheric river, nothing to do with that, but instability and cold air right over Southern California to generate some locally significant rain and snow. Does the weather pattern change after this? Well, it looks like we kind of go back at the end of the month into storms going by to our north and east, as shown here. The wind forecast. I told you the winds would continue, and this is an outlook for Thursday night through Friday. So continued windy, especially in our mountain passes and gaps, our interstate corridors, until it dies off by Friday afternoon. The preliminary outlook for precipitation. On the high end, the yellow areas show about an inch of rain when you add it all up from late Saturday through Monday night. All areas, ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch. The wind now changes to onshore from the southwest. So now we see wind pushing back from ocean to desert. So we see our high deserts and our mountains and even some of our coastal areas seeing some breezes with this storm Saturday night through Sunday night. Snowfall could be significant, as I mentioned, so be prepared for potential chain control and low elevation snow. We can see snowfall accumulation all the way down to 4,000 feet. When is the snow going to start? It's going to start Saturday night. And by Sunday morning, what I'm showing here is this is the probability of getting about 2 inches of snow by early Sunday morning. So keep that in mind if traveling over the weekend. Cold temperatures. So those places that see snow, it's not going to melt. Temperatures not getting out of the 30s for our high mountain communities. Not getting out of the 50s for most of our coast and valleys. Outlook for end of January through February, unfortunately, is still indicating dry. So it looks like we get one good wet storm. Here are some resources to check out the latest information, including the outlooks and including your ways to monitor the latest wind gusts like I showed in this presentation. Stay safe, everyone. Be prepared for big changes in the weather from warm, dry Santa Anas to cold winter storm this weekend.